Alright, y'all, so welcome back to another video. It's a brand new day. Got a pair of these Nike football cleats, and I found these right here in Nashville a few days ago, and I watched a lady throw these back because it was during a period where people were sorting their carts. The rotation was taking a long time, and man, these were really dirty. I mean, beyond dirty. And so I just picked them up, and my first intentions was to just kind of look them up and throw them back because I figured they'd be a $20 sale, and for the work that would be required to somewhat bring them back to life, I just didn't think it was worth it. And so I looked them up anyway, and after seeing some of the sold comps, my hat almost flew off. So there was a sold comp for $750 for one that was brand new. And reason being is because these are actually pro football cleats, and so this colorway in general is pretty rare. I think for pre-owned, I was seeing comps between $75 and $150, and I wasn't able to get these as clean as I thought I would be able to get them, so I priced them on the lower end. I think I priced them for $75 plus shipping. So I listed them, and literally within 1 minute, they sold. So I was thinking, I priced them too low. But, I mean, it is what it is. The buyer's getting a great deal, and again, these only cost probably $2. So I'm just happy to be able to pick them up, clean them up a little bit, and pass them off to the next person. Alright, so all these items were drafted yesterday, so I'm going to list them after I'm done. And that'll probably take 30, 45 minutes tops. I'm still listing 20 a day, and that's been keeping the lights on around here, which is the name of the game. This is a New York Mets MLB. It's sort of maybe like a therma sweatshirt top, maybe like slightly a jersey, I don't know. But anyway, it should do okay. So this is a Cotopaxi, however you want to say it. Found this down, it'll focus in there it is. So found this down at the bins last week, I believe, and probably probably no more than $1, and it sold right away, I think the same day, for $22 plus shipping. So this is a Nike Mighty Oregon Duck, Marcus Mariota, the black and gray and yellow jersey. And if you were one of OG followers, you've been following me since I started up in Oregon, I would literally find this jersey 4 or 5 times per year. So when I would find it, I just kind of knew right off the bat it was probably $50. So no big deal. The reason I'm mentioning this is because I actually found this right here in Nashville. But when you think about it, it's really not that far-fetched, because when he left Oregon, he got drafted by the Titans. And since I've been here the last 7 or 8 months, the Oregon Duck following up here is absolutely insane. So I remember the day before the Rose Bowl, I had my jersey on. I was really pumped for the game, even though we got the brakes beat off of us the next day. But there was a guy who came up to me, I guess because he seen the jersey, and he said that his best friend lives in Nashville now, but he's from Oregon, and he's like an Oregon Duck fanatic. And I've met multiple people from Oregon in the 7 or 8 months that I've been here, just literally at the Goodwill bins. And we had the Strawberry Festival. It's like a really big deal here in our small town. There's people that come from, I think there's like 50,000 people that come from all over to come to this thing. It's a pretty big deal. But anyway, I had on an Oregon Duck t-shirt when we were out there, and literally we ran into 2 families just at this event that were from Oregon. So there was one guy who was from Lake Oswego. I think him and his wife have been out here for 20 or so years now, but he had literally just got back from Oregon. And so probably 20 minutes later, we ran into another girl who, she went to U of O, and she was from Climate Falls, I believe. And so the world's a lot smaller than you think. So this is an ASIC wrestling singlet. I've had so much luck selling these in the past, especially with like Nike. This was new with tags, and this should be a pretty decent sell and pickup right here. A pair of Lululemon leggings. There isn't any size tag in here, usually isn't. Get the pocket open. Whoops, let me get it open. It's a pocket, yeah, you can see it's a women's 4. So yeah, probably 50 cents here. Alrighty, y'all, so it's a brand new day, and behind me right here got 20 items that I'm going to be listing shortly. And just an update, I'm still going to Nashville 3 days during the week between Monday through Friday. It's usually Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but sometimes I kind of switch it up a bit, but usually it's those 3 days right there. And I've been trying to take Saturdays off in recognition of the Sabbath. We used to do that all the time up in Oregon. Once we moved here to Tennessee, sort of got out of the swing of that as a family. But I was talking to somebody at my church, and we were just kind of going back and forth about work and the importance of breaks. And we're talking about how you can either take a break at your own time and it comes to a smooth stop, or you can keep going and it comes to a crash when you burn out. And so I would rather just come to a smooth stop. And so I've been trying to take Saturdays off, and we did that the last week, and man, it was really, really beneficial. Got a chance to read, recalibrate, talk about the future, talk about goals. So that's been working for me from a mental standpoint, and just kind of wanted to give an update with that right here, just out here working, and just kind of show you guys a few of the things that I got going on out here. If you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you probably remember in Oregon when I found a bunch of these Columbia college button-ups. I've sold probably 95% of the teams that I found, and I think I picked most of those up probably over a year ago, and there's still a few stragglers. This one right here is the Iowa Hawkeyes. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. And for the most part, I think this is just pure profit now, because I've made my money back plus some at this point. And I believe this was $10, and it sold for $19 plus shipping. So these are a pair of Duluth Trading Company hiking shorts. I don't know if you can see the tag. It's sort of shriveled up. You probably won't be able to see it, but if you're familiar with this brand, I'm sure you can identify with the label. And anyway, picked these up at the Goodwill bins for 50 cents, and I believe they sold for $14 plus shipping. Usually in this brand, the hiking shorts do really well, the hiking pants do really well. Every now and again, the jeans do okay, but I usually get excited when I find the hiking shorts or the hiking pants. One day last week, I found a bunch of Hokas in literally just one day. There was a morning shoe drop where I found a couple, and then I noticed here just in the last 3 months or so, I wasn't doing this when I first got to Nashville last October. If you stay most of the day, there's another shoe drop that usually happens right after lunchtime. So during that drop, I found maybe 3 or 4 more pair of them. But anyway, at this point, I'm not doing a whole lot of retail arbitrage. It just simply doesn't work with my current schedule. I was trying to fight gravity when we first moved here. I would try to go to the bins, stay for 3 hours, and then try to do my usual retail arbitrage that I was doing up in Oregon. But that simply does not work here. If I leave the bins at 11, I usually don't find enough quality stuff in that short amount of time. And then when I go to do retail arbitrage at places like Ross and Burlington's, it's a gamble because you could leave the bins early, forfeit the day there, and then not even find stuff in retail arbitrage. So what I've done is I shifted more to like an online model to where I'm actually looking for newer items online. That tends to work a little bit better. Occasionally when we're out as a family, we'll go to like Costco or something early in the morning. I'll stop by one of the Rosses that's near there to just kind of give it a look. But that's kind of where I'm at right now as far as retail arbitrage and sourcing. These are a pair of Clifton 9s right here, and don't know the model on this one right here, but there's 2 right there, and then you got 3, 4, 5, 6, and again I found all of these in just one, I guess maybe a fluke day. But the shoes have been a lot better as I'm able to get the shoe drop in the morning and then stay in the afternoon as well. Alright, so this sale right here is for the real OGs of Nevertheless Success. So, I don't know if you remember, this was probably back in late 2021, maybe early to the middle of 2022. I don't know if you guys remember when I went to the Goodwill bins and they had all of that New Attack Prana stuff. I found New Attack Prana shorts, New Attack Prana pants, hiking gear. It was just absolutely insane. I think that happened twice, and I think I have videos of both times. But anyway, this is a pair of London shorts, a women's 8, and I think I have a handful of these left. I think I found probably 20 to 30 pair of New Attack shorts, and right now again these are all pure profit, so I'm willing to take basically anything that's reasonable. I want to say these sold for $8 to $10 plus shipping. I don't have the exact number in front of me. I'll actually post it up on the screen right here. One of the worst feelings as a reseller is when you lose or misplace an item that sells. Man, it creates a lot of problems. And I've been doing this since the end of 2016, full time since the beginning of 2017, and periodically it still happens, and it's not a good feeling. In this case right here, this was just put in one of the incorrect bins. It happens in very, very rare situations at this point in my business. I would say maybe once a year, but when it does happen, it's horrible. It took me an hour, but I finally found this one right here, and it sold for $12.99 plus shipping. If this was a situation where I couldn't find it, usually what I do is, this is an Adidas hoodie, women's medium. I have a ton of Adidas hoodies, probably in the same size. So what I'll usually do, I'll reach out to the buyer if I couldn't find this, and I'll say, hey, unfortunately the item was misplaced, but I have 3 of these, just maybe in a different color. Are you interested in taking one of these instead? And sometimes they'll say yeah, and that'll work out fine. But if not, obviously I'll have to cancel the sale. But at least if I can't find it, I give the buyer some form of a resolution versus just canceling the sale cold. And you do that too many times, that's the death of a business. And so that's why this creates a lot of problems if you can't find the item once it sells. So this is a Nike polo, and it also has a custom embroidery, Beeman GMC. And what I was saying in a previous video, when I first started reselling, if a Nike polo or Adidas polo had an embroidery on it and it wasn't anything super reputable, I would usually always leave it behind. Don't do that anymore. I encourage you not to do it as well when you're outsourcing. If you see a shirt with a custom embroidery, it may be worth it to do the 30 seconds worth of research, because sometimes you can find some value in something that another reseller may not take the time to do. And again, this probably would have ended up in the landfill. I found it at the Goodwill bins, 50 cents. This is a pair of No Bull sneakers, and I picked these up in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I know that probably sounds like it's pretty far, but Bowling Green is probably one of the closer big cities to where we are here in Portland, which is basically the last town in Tennessee before you cross over into the Kentucky side of things. But we were up there, I believe, just kind of hanging out as a family. I think we went to the Sam's Club, but there was a Goodwill not too far from that. And so on this particular day, I stopped in there, and I think these were $7 or $8. And anyway, they sold for $25 plus shipping, and these were actually missing the insoles as well. But I've been reselling for a while. And in my first couple of years, I probably wouldn't have picked these up because they were missing those. But what I've come to find out is that doesn't really decrease the value a whole lot, because a lot of times somebody's going to be taking their insoles from probably a similar pair of shoes like this, or maybe even another brand, and they're going to be putting them right in this, and they're going to be off and running. Alrighty, y'all, so I think this is where I'm going to cut the video off at. I appreciate you guys for coming along with me. Need to spend the rest of the day getting all of my work completed. And usually on days when I'm home, I like to spend the last hour of the morning hanging out with the kids, playing out back. So I need to speed through this so that can be a possibility. But again, if you got anything out of the video, like it, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll catch you guys right back here on the next one. Succeed.